and welcome to Literary Reflections. For today's audiobook excerpt, we have Eugene St. Martin Jr. and his book, More Stories by E.C., and narrated by Tom Bauer. The character, E.C., is a maintenance man at a country club and tennis court. These are his reflections on life. Now, without further ado, More Stories by E.C., written by Eugene St. Martin Jr.
Leaves. Each leaf is a story in itself. While walking in the park this past October, I noticed how the leaves were falling to the ground. I watched each leaf as it fell to the ground throughout its entire flight. I noticed how each leaf is different. Each one's path to the ground is different. Some sail, some sally, some tumble, some glide. Some are caught up in the wind. Others fall solo. Each leaf is a story in itself. Each leaf has his own story. That day, I thought about what the leaf had been through this past year. New growth and budding, the spring winds and rain, the summer sun and thunderstorms, the blue fall skies and cool temperature, and now the winter coming on. There have been good times and bad times. There have been times of children playing, lovers walking, old friends talking, teenagers playing, and people working in their yards. And as I saw the leaves coming to the ground, I thought, what will become of the leaves? What will become of the leaves? Where will they go? And I remembered they will go into the earth. They will help something else to grow again. The cycle of life will continue. For the leaf is part of a larger whole. The leaf was part of the tree, and the tree is part of a larger scheme of things. The tree helps to provide homes for birds, shade and shelter for humans, and air for us all to breathe. The leaf plays a part in the larger scheme of things. The leaf is part of a larger whole. And lucky the leaf who can play his part out, and no wonder that the trip from Father Tree to Mother Ground is so magnificent, so graceful. The other day, while raking leaves at my work, I came upon these 3 leaves. Something beautiful struck me about these leaves, and some music began to play inside of me. The tune was an old Peter, Paul, and Mary song. It went like this: how many roads must a young man walk down before he knows he is a man? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. I believe that there is an artist in each one of us. I believe there is an athlete in each of us. I believe that there are some gifts in each of us. Each tree has its own exalted power to bear. As Willa Cather says, it is a matter of us bringing that power to bear. It is a matter of finding ways to get the good shots that are inside of us out, the gifts that are inside us out. And when we can do this, we too will play our part in the larger whole of things. The window. Sometimes it depends on the window we look through that determines our lives. Once upon a time, there was a young man who worked as a groundskeeper for a country club. And one day, while he was watching the shop at his old country club, he discovered a very special window in the storeroom. It was almost a magical window, and yet it looked like any other window. The window was divided into 4 panes, 4 smaller window sections, and at first sight, each of the sections looked identical. The young man took some window cleaner and a cloth and rubbed. He began to clean the window panes. When he looked through the first window pane, he saw people thinking, talking and acting in an attitude of, "Look what they are doing to me." The young man saw his own whole life as a fight against another person, like they got 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream and I only got 1 scoop, where I feel cheated. Where I compare myself to others, they have a new car, new house, new baby, beautiful wife. They can play golf or tennis when they choose. When the young man looked through this window pane, he saw such. He saw others thinking like this, and he saw himself thinking and acting like this. This window pane really did bring pain. The young man rubbed and cleaned off another window pane, and through this second window, the young man saw the opportunity for him to serve right where he was. It is where I see the beauty in my own life and in my neighborhood as I go about my travels in my neighborhood to my work and to my play. Looking through this window, I see my part to play in the whole scheme of things, and it lets me focus on that part versus personality. In other words, when I look through this window, I see what I can do with what I got where I am. I see my part in the play. I see a higher purpose. The young man thought this was interesting. It was interesting to see his life looking through this second window pane. And then the young man cleaned a third window pane, and he found it to be a very special window pane, a very wonderful window. In this one, when one looks through this window, one sees the beauty in the world around him. One sees little glimpses of the beautiful things, people hugging, people walking and talking together, families together doing the things that people do, 3 generations at one time. Through this special window, one sees winter scenes, leaves falling, spring budding, and summer heat, spring flowers, lizards climbing, and dewdrops on leaves looking like little jewels. And one sees where the fog and dew bring out the spider webs, a wonderland of spider webs woven around us that we did not even know was there. And through this window, one can see trees resembling church steeples. One can see white egrets fishing, and one can see trees highlighted by the sun going down in the sky in the evening. Still, the young man found a 4th window pane, and on this one he rubbed and cleaned and rubbed and cleaned. It was worth it, for this was a very special window. And when the young man looked through this window, he saw something he wanted to do for another person that day. He saw something he wanted to do for someone in his life. And it was this view that helped him get out of bed. To a friend. Once upon a time, a young girl moved from the town where she had grown up to a distant town and a new home. She moved many miles to her new home. The hardest thing for her was leaving her old friends back home. She wanted to write, though as things go, her best friend's address got lost, got misplaced. Now it was really different for her to be in this new place. She knew no one except the people in her family. She was at an age where friends mean so much to a person. Oh, there was television, but one can only watch TV so much. Oh, there was her family, yet frequently in families these days there was a lot of advice giving and less listening, less sharing of memories, and less talking about what one has done that day. Oh, plenty of suggestions. However, there were some things different about her new home, different than before. There were books everywhere. Books, books, books. She often explored this world of books, looking through them when no one else was around. There was also music in this new home, and she enjoyed hearing the music being played. The music went through the whole house. One day, the young girl thought about this music, and on that day, she sensed and realized that each person has their own music inside. Oh, if only someone could hear my music, she thought. Oh, if only a friend could hear and understand the music playing inside of me. Oh, my music may be different from Mozart, Elvis, or the Beatles. Still, she thought it is simply my music, and it is okay. My music is okay. Oh yes, it still needs more training, more refinement, more education, so more people can understand it, and so my music can be a service to others. Still, the young girl had her own music. And furthermore, she discovered she no longer needed to react to others. She could now chart her own course, be her own person with the harmony of nature and life. She could now simply work to her own music. Well, one day, the young girl, while going about her life, bumped into another young girl. And a funny thing happened. Both young girls could hear the other's music playing, and they could understand it. They even appreciated each other's music, accepting it, seeing the good in it, overlooking the notes that were missed here and there. The young girl was so proud and happy that she had found a friend. She was so happy that she started reading the books in her home. And there in a small book, a book sandwiched between two large books, there in a small fragile book, the young girl found an old and ancient saying. Upon finding the saying, the young girl wrote the saying down on a piece of old parchment paper, and then mailed the saying in a letter to her new girlfriend. And from that day on, the two girls began to treat each other and others like the old saying said. This is what it said. A friend is one whom one may pour out all the contents of one's heart, chaff and grain together, knowing that the gentlest of hands will take and sift it, keep what is worth keeping, and with the breath of kindness, blow the rest away. Arabian Proverb. The young girl cherished the ancient saying, and she kept it inside of her heart for the rest of her life. She knew her friend had heard her music, and she had heard her friend's music, and both had respected each other. The young girl kept her friend in her heart throughout her life. This is a story told through the eyes of a groundskeeper who works at a very beautiful country club. He takes care of the tennis courts and the surrounding grounds there. There are 7 Rubico courts surrounded by a fantastic golf course. Overlooking the tennis courts and the golf course is a new grandstand pro shop building. Here he comes now.
That was More Stories by E.C., written by Eugene St. Martin Jr. and narrated by Tom Bauer. To hear the rest of E.C.'s reflections, go to Amazon, Audible, or Barnes & Noble. Also, be sure to leave a review at goodreads.com. Thank you for listening.